Oh, my eye just stuck together. Okay, if I could get this sentence out, that would be fabulous. Anytime I wear a middle part, I just think of that murderer who only murdered women with middle parts. Am I the only one? I'm like 99% sure it was Ted Bundy. I feel like Mallory might know the answer to this. Nothing like a talk about murderers in a foundation video to start off your day, am I right? Alright, so today it is Foundation Friday. This is where we try out a new foundation every single Friday on my channel. Today's foundation is a product that pretty much went viral on Instagram. I'm sure we've all seen a video of this at one point or another. There was a video of a girl that had a little bit of acne and she used this to cover it up, and you guys flooded the DMs with that video saying that you wanted to see this tested. So this is by Wunder2, which is the same brand that made Wonderbrow. So this is their Coverproof foundation. I actually ordered this about 2 months ago and was planning on including this in 15 days of foundation, but the package literally disappeared in the mail. So I ended up ordering this off of Amazon instead of their website this time. So let's hop on and read some of the claims. I'm gonna have my Foundation Friday playlist listed down below in case you want to go watch other ones. Literally my Google search right now is murderer middle hair part. Mallory just got back and confirmed, yes, it is Ted Bundy. I love you know that I would know this. Okay, let's go back to Wunder2, whatever this is called. So this foundation retails for about $30. It only comes in 5 shades, which is obviously a major downside. I have the lightest shade, which is Fair. You guys will see what I think of that shade. You get a standard 1 fluid ounce of product in here. This is what the packaging looks like. I actually think it's pretty ugly. It feels a bit cheap. It just reminds me of like medical something, I don't know, or like skincare. I'm just not that into the packaging. The description of this says, finally a long-lasting foundation that you can count on. Create the perfect canvas and transform your skin for 24 hours. 24 hours, blah, blah, blah. This lightweight foundation remains ultra comfortable and flexible on the skin, ensuring your base stays fresh and nourished all day. Glowy, natural, transfer proof, and even pillow proof after those late nights. Basically, the main points are high coverage, transfer proof, 24-hour wear, natural glow. Apparently it has a polymer called Polyglow that leaves the skin looking flawless. I'm gonna insert some swatches right here of the lightest shade, Fair, compared to some of the other foundations that I own. Alright, swatch time. I just discovered that the pump on this thing is way hard to get a tiny bit amount out, so I have a giant swatch right here. But first right here is the Wunder2 Coverproof Foundation in the lightest shade N10 Fair. Next over, Urban Decay Naked Skin in 0.5, Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless in 110, Dermacol 208, Milk Makeup Blur Liquid in Fair, Pure Cosmetics Baradol in Porcelain, and Marc Jacobs Remarkable in 10. So that's all the claims and everything on this foundation. If you guys are excited for Foundation Friday, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. If you're new here, you can join the Bayrito family and subscribe. I upload Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, 6 p.m. Pacific time. My Accutane disclaimer, when you guys are seeing this, I'm currently on Accutane, so this is a pre-recorded video. Let's jump into it. If you want to see what I think of the Coverproof foundation and how it applies and wears throughout the day, you're in the right place. Just keep watching. Okay, so it's actually 1 p.m. right now. I usually start these videos first thing in the morning so we can do a full super long wear test, but I had a few things I had to do this morning, so I'm gonna keep this one on as long as possible. So I've already washed, moisturized, and primed my face. I used a primer on half of my face again, the right side. Why is it so hot in here right now? I only primed this side of my face, so we'll see if there's a difference again. I'm gonna use my e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush on one side and then my Morphe sponge on the other. There's only 5 shades, so hoping the shade Fair will match. I'm gonna shake this just in case. It does have a pump, so I'm gonna pump a bit of this out on the back of a palette. So that's the shade. Looks a bit dark, but we'll see. I'm gonna dab some of this on and start out with a brush on this side of my face. Has a very orange tone to it. Let's see how this covers. Feels pretty thick. Yeah, it has like a tug to it almost. So the shade is definitely dark. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera, but probably at least a shade dark. Hoping this doesn't oxidize. I'm not covering all of this at all. Looks like about medium coverage with the brush. I do have my ring light off right now and I have the natural light coming in again. You should be able to see. Yeah, it feels pretty sticky, like almost like a gel. I have a lot of texture, a bit of dryness up here on my forehead, and it's definitely clinging to everything. Okay, I don't necessarily like how that looks with the brush. Let's see if the sponge helps a little bit. Doesn't seem to be covering my acne at all. So this is the not primed side. Even lighter coverage with the sponge. That didn't really cover anything, but the finish does look better with the sponge. Someone needs to do an ASMR video of just a beauty blender. Smoothing over my forehead with a sponge definitely helps with the finish and the texture. Yeah, finish looks much better with a sponge. So my acne is out to party right now. I definitely would need to spot conceal. I'm gonna see if we can build it up with a sponge. Definitely building. High medium coverage on this side. You can still see freckles and stuff coming through, but it's covering my acne a lot better. If I'm gonna build up a foundation, I usually focus it only on the spots where I have my acne. Like I'm not bringing it right around my nose or anything because I do get creasing there. So my upper lip, nose area, I usually just avoid if I'm doing a second layer, so it's not too much product there. I think it's going on the same and looks pretty much the same. Prime side versus not prime side. The sponge is definitely the way to go with this one. It looked like a different foundation, sponge versus brush side. It's much more smooth with the sponge, and the center of my forehead now on my forehead looks pretty good after smoothing it over with the sponge. I feel like it's already starting to oxidize. I don't know why, but the shade never shows up on camera as it is in real life. It's about a shade too dark right now. I still wouldn't say this like covers acne even on 2 layers. I mean, everything is like still coming in on my neck down here. I'm actually gonna just put concealer on my neck. I'm not gonna put this on my face. I just need to cover that up on my neck. I think I actually like how it looks the most on my forehead. It looks nice and smooth there. Around my nose area, it already looks like it's starting to crease on my upper lip a bit. My pores don't look super great. Doesn't look bad down here. I just want to say I'm like in love with how my skin looks right now. Right now it's 120, very tacky. I'm gonna give this a few minutes while I do my eye makeup and see if it kind of sets down. And if it doesn't, I'm gonna powder my face. So I'll be right back once I have the rest of my makeup on and drink some more coffee. Okay, so it's pretty much 2 o'clock. We're gonna call the check-in time 1:20 since that's when I finished up with my face. I did not end up powdering my entire face. All I did was put a little bit of the Laura Geller powder just literally right here so I could blend my powder products on top because it is still tacky. So I did the rest of my makeup and then I went out and looked in the mirror out there and in my bathroom mirror, and it looks good. Like I don't know if it just warmed up to my face or what just happened, but my forehead looks bomb. I think mostly because I don't have acne there, so like it looks more full coverage, but the center of my forehead looks amazing. It just looks very smooth and flattering up there. There are some areas down here where it doesn't look the best. It's kind of like clinging to my acne. And then around my nose, I have a feeling it's gonna not look so great throughout the day right here because it is already starting to crease and my pores look pretty big. Okay, so this is right after I just applied it, so I just want to show you guys what it looks like out here in natural lighting. For some reason, I feel like the only place the shade really shows up accurate is when I do it in the mirror. So you can see right here is where the foundation ends. Definitely too dark, but for some reason when I flip the camera and I'm facing the other way, it looks like it matches. But I think this one off the bat, I would probably mix in something to lighten it and also add a bit more coverage. Might try mixing it with Dermacol because right now I really like the finish of it. I feel like it's one of those that just needs to kind of warm up to your skin a little bit, but we'll see how it holds up throughout the day. So on the rest of my face for contour and all of the matte shadows on my eyes, I use the Tarte Clay Play palette. I need to like mentally prepare to say those 3 words. This is just such a bomb neutral palette. It is great. For blush, I use the Makeup Forever blush I've been obsessed with. This one right here, I'll have the exact number listed down below. Highlight, I first attempted to use the Sephora Golden Hour in the shade, in the shade Twilight 04. This is like straight up purple. Ended up going over it with the J-Cat U Glow Girl to kind of like lighten it because, I mean, my highlight looked like purple. So I kind of have a mix of these two as my highlight right now. This one I'm not that into at all. What else? Oh, so on the rest of my eyes, for the lid shade, I used L'Oreal 207. This is so freaking pretty. This isn't even wet. That was just used with a brush even. Super pretty, like cool tone, purplish gray. And then for my inner corner, I used Milani Bella Pink, which is super pretty. This is the first time I use this shade. It's like a reflective, super light purple. Waterline eyeliner is ColourPop Honeydew. And then for lips, I used the 32 Innocent liner by Rimmel with the new MAC Nicki Minaj lipstick. This is in the shade The Pink Print, and this is very pink. So I kind of had to tone it down with some lip gloss. So then I put on my favorite MUA Baby Pink. If you haven't tried this yet, this is like my go-to lip gloss. I keep this in my purse. I just put a couple drops of tea tree oil in it so it smells better. And now it smells amazing. So I'll check back in with you guys in a few hours in natural lighting. Okay, not sure why I'm blue right now, but it is now, it's now 6:30, so it's been on for 5 hours. I think it still looks really good. I'm gonna zoom you guys in. I feel like it looks a little bit more oily than earlier on my forehead, but it's not to the point where I feel like it's too oily. I kind of like the dewiness. It's not separating, so that's a good sign. It's kicking up a little bit around my nose area, which is kind of typical for me. It doesn't look the best on my acne. I think that's my only thing with this, is that it does cling kind of weird. Yeah, you can kind of see it looks a little bit clingy and dry, and then around my nose area on both sides, primed and not. I'm gonna try and keep this on as late as possible. I'm gonna have a cup of coffee to stay awake, and I'll check back in with you guys at the end of the night. Okay, so it's 11:10. I made it the full 10 hours. I'm pretty proud of myself. So it's been on for 10 hours. I'm actually in front of the ring light right now. I just dimmed it. So as you can see, I am very oily. Also, I was playing back some of the footage because I started editing this video and I realized I was wearing this exact sweatshirt in the last Foundation Friday video. I'm into it right now. So anyways, very, very, very oily. I feel like it didn't start though until about 8 hours in. I think 7 hours I was still like dewy. Now I'm just super oily, but it's not breaking down. Like a tiny, tiny bit right on the center of my forehead, a super tiny bit on the center of my forehead, and it still doesn't look great around my nose area. But even on my chin with the oil, like it doesn't seem to be really breaking down. I'm just oily. I don't know, this one I'm kind of confused by because I feel like if I put on a powder, it would have looked too heavy because it didn't start looking skin-like until like an hour in when I liked how it got a little bit dewy. So I think if I did powder my face, I would have to like put on the foundation, wait a bit, and then powder, or else it would just be too heavy looking. Let's go in this light because I feel like this light for some reason more accurately shows how dark. Yeah, so in here you can see, I do think it's oxidized about a shade throughout the day, I want to say. I think if I mix this one, I would mix it with something that's super long lasting and too light and add a little bit of coverage. I have kind of torn thoughts on this one. Overall, I don't really think it's worth purchasing. I feel like I have foundations that give the same kind of effect that last longer on my skin, that have a little bit more coverage and that don't oxidize. So for me, I don't think this one really makes sense to buy, but I don't think it's a bad foundation. If you have oily skin, probably not the one for you. Not sure how it would work on dry skin, but it didn't really cling to any of my dryness on my forehead again after that like hour. I wouldn't say it's like this revolutionary foundation or anything. It doesn't cover quite as much as I expected. I feel like if you're gonna call it cover-proof, it should probably be like full coverage, right? It is late, I need to shower, I need to go to bed, and I'm gonna film another foundation video tomorrow. I have 2 weeks pre-recorded and I'm trying to get at least 8 weeks pre-recorded before I start Accutane. I feel like I'm doing like 15 days of foundation again right now. But you guys can always let me know what foundations you want to see next. My skin type is definitely going to change after Accutane, I'm guessing. So I'm trying to do the foundations that I already bought that I think are more for like oily skin or acne. So I'm trying to get all of those done, but definitely let me know down below if there are any specific ones you want to see reviewed while my skin is still this type. If you enjoy Foundation Friday, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. If you're new here, you can join the Burrito family and subscribe. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.